Ritvik. Thank you for coming to the podcast. And did you work in a company before?
Hi Sam. So I worked in a company called as ArcServe. It's a software data company. Did you
Mhm.
work in any company?
Yeah, I have worked in SPM machine manufacturing company in Bangalore.
Oh.
So it's Mekos Technology Services.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about electrical designing and designing machines for the manufacturing plants and the production facilities.
Okay.
Yeah. So did you ever gone through your performance review in your company while you're working?
Yeah, in my company, we used to have a performance review every like, so we call it a sprint. So
Mhm.
each sprint we get a performance review. Yeah. So do you have any? I feel that yours is not a corporate thing, right? Yours is not a software job.
No, it's not a software job, but yet we have some performance reviews.
Okay.
So it's based on the number of projects that we have completed and the number of projects that we have completed under the timeline. So the machines that we produce are designed. So those have some output uh, limitations
Mm-hmm.
or some milestones for the outputs yields, for
Okay.
example. So a production line should have at least 90% of the yield
Mm-hmm.
for the line to be profitable for the plant. So based on those, we would have the performance reviews.
Okay. So our performance reviews are probably most commonly based on our sprint, whatever sprint that we did, or whatever season that we completed, how much fast we completed our sprint. So there are like 4 or 5 sprints for one season. It
Okay.
takes around probably 4 to 5 months, and then we get a season change. So yeah, in our performance reviews, we have our manager, group manager, give us the statistics of, you know how it goes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The statistics come up, and some people are good, some people are bad. Yeah, it
Yeah.
goes on like that.
Yeah. So did you have any negative feedback from your manager, from your team lead, from your company?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do get my work done. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but sometimes you know how managers are. They just want the one extra bit from you,
Yeah.
and yeah, sometimes I couldn't reach that. So we and like it used to be a big thing in our peer group, as in, hey, you got heckled by one manager. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you face that negative feedback that you have received?
So the first time I've got my peer review was right out after I completed my college undergraduation. So we had a so it was a first training session. Our KT was done, and then we had to perform our first sprint. After our first sprint, my manager was in, and he's like, he had two groups. One was an experienced one, and another one was ours. He went for the first group and went like, "You guys did good." He went for the second group and like, "You guys didn't do any good." And then he pointed to me like, "You did it worse." And I was like,
So it would be embarrassing.
yeah, it was very embarrassing for me because I tried my best, but in the group I was the youngest person.
Okay.
So others were coming in with experience. I was a fresh grad,
Mhm.
so yeah, it felt kind of embarrassing in front of my peers.
Okay. So how did you deal with that? Like, did you speak to your manager after that, or how did you?
You know how it goes in the Indian cultures, right? You
Uh,
don't exactly open up about stuff. So yeah, I was young, so I was never trying to confront the manager. But I feel that there should be a method in which you have to talk with a person,
Yeah.
or where your corporate skills are more polished,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When you talk with your software skills shouldn't be so less.
Yeah.
So I feel when you're in a social setting, when you're in a
Mhm.
company, the peer group and what you are dealing with has to be more refined, so that the first thing is, you should not feel bad that you've been given a bad negative
Yeah.
feedback. So yeah.
So did you have any self-reflection? Like, did you cross-verify yourself? Did I do that the same thing wrong, or is he trying to make me better or something something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the most the most part of the review was good, but after that, you know how people go, right? They try to give you, you don't. I don't think you will do it good. I feel I did a better job at neglecting what they
Yeah.
said, but I feel most of the people try to, latch on to that and give a bad impression about ourselves.
So take it
So
personally.
yeah, they'll take it personally. So one suggestion for the freshers or people who are just into jobs is, don't take everything the manager says personally.
Okay.
Don't make it a personal thing or a vendetta against the manager.
Mm-hmm.
The manager is in the wrong, but it doesn't yield anything to you. And the second thing is, to the organization, is when you're having a new set of people, basically act according to your environment. When you're handling a team, handling it more professionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you worked in a team. So you have told us about your self-reflection and how did you verify yourself. So how did your friends take it, or what are the common mistakes that they have done while receiving this negative feedback?
Well, yeah. As it went on, we had multiple reviews, and
Mhm.
in one of the bad reviews, my peer had enough of it, basically, and he started retaliating. He
Mhm.
tried to reason what he did and stuff like that. It didn't go well. They had to terminate him from the company,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel was what he wanted to do was reasonable,
Mm-hmm.
but he went a little too far. So my point is, what happened is, people try to say something, but when they're angry,
Okay.
when they get hurt by the peer review, they tend to go a little overboard. So that happened to my friend. So I feel that needs to be avoided. When we talk it out personally with the manager, explain him that this is the problem, then that'd be a pretty easier way to get it out.
So is it possible that we can turn this negative feedback into a positive thing for the
Yeah.
employee?
Yeah, 100%. The first thing that you have to know is your employee wants work from you.
Mhm.
So remove the clutter,
Okay.
whatever he says. Put in just put your focus on the information that he wants you to do, and then I'm pretty sure that stuff like that can be done, and you can improve your work based on that. And just don't take in the negative feedback. So have you got any negative feedback like that?
Yeah, in my first year. So when I first joined the job, I was not aware about most of the design processes and how the designing is started, how it is done. So I have made a lot of mistakes. I have learned a lot of things. So mostly from my manager, he would be supporting me. He would be giving, he would be nudging me into the correct direction. Like, this is how we do it. This is not how you should do it. So he would be nudging me into a direction, and I have learned a lot from him, actually. So even my friends, so we are a group of friends who joined in the same company. So even they have received the same feedback. So some people, as you told, they have not accepted the feedback. So they have taken it personally. They have changed the company itself at the end.
So yeah. So what do you think needs to change in the next few iterations of a company regarding peer reviews or company
So-
reviews?
So there is a concept such as a feedback sandwich, so that so the manager will be giving a good feedback, then a negative feedback, and then a good
Yeah.
feedback, so that the employee who listens to that feedback doesn't feel bad that he's only doing the wrong thing and only that is being noticed, so that he'll get appreciation for the good things he has done, and also he'll be getting a right way to do for the wrong things or some mistakes that he has done. So I think it would be better for managers to approach the employee in that way rather than being confrontational and
Yeah.
talking directly to the face.
Right. Yeah, that would be a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
So the best thing we can do as a employee
Mhm.
is work on our communication better. Try to first of all try to not get the negative feedback, but
Yeah.
we know that we get the negative feedback
Yeah,
either
yeah.
way.
That's
So
what the managers
yeah,
Yeah.
so we get the bad review either way.
Yeah.
So the best thing we can do is try to avoid that. If we get
Mhm.
that, then have already self evaluation of
Yeah.
what we're doing. Second thing, don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And third thing, if it happens to your peers,
Yeah.
not to yourself, to your peers,
Yeah.
then you have to understand that I also
Yeah, so maybe
was
we
in
should
that
talk
place.
with our colleagues and
Yeah.
just tell them it's not to take it personal. Just try to check what's wrong, what you have done wrong, talk with the manager and get it sorted rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
taking it personally.
Yeah. So, what are the one of the bad examples of a peer review that happened for you?
So as I said, one of my friends left the company due to this review meeting.
Mhm.
So what he has done wrong is he has taken it personally. He has argued with my manager.
Yeah, I know it's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
It keeps
yeah.
happening.
So he has argued with the manager and he has given excuses rather than accepting his fault and taking it professionally and
Mhm.
trying to work on it. So
Mhm.
he has argued with the manager.
Mhm.
So in India, most of them they don't take things professionally in the workplace. So they
Mhm.
take personally. So I think we should not argue with the manager, and we should be professional. We should not be taking it emotionally. So
Yeah.
we should work on that, and we should talk to the manager if anything else that I should improve on.
Yeah, as you said, culture. I think by listening to you, I think culture also brings in a
Yeah.
big part of what a
How
review
employees
handling a
take
review
it,
goes
yeah,
on,
yeah.
right? In an American company, it would be more direct.
Yeah.
So we would be having more problems in understanding that.
So we might think they're targeting us.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. So yeah, but in an Indian company,
Mhm.
if your manager is saying something, you take it by word. You take it as it's his
Yeah.
truth,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we give our managers more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't tend to, overrule their
Overrule.
words.
Yeah. We try our best to get into his
Grace,
ideas and
yeah.
his good graces and his
Yes,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think we have learned how to handle the performance reviews, negative feedback from the managers.
yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a good podcast.